Hi everybody and welcome back. Right, in this video we are going to change our tile script to make use of the variables that we created in our main script. So if you come over to Explorer window, find your tile part and open up the tile script. Now I said earlier that I showed you how to do this in a longhand way. So now we're going to do this in a shorthand way, but if you want to keep this tile script over here to refer to, just right click on it and come up and duplicate it, and we'll change one of them to say old tile script, and then you can come down and disable that one so that it's just turned off. And in the one that's actually called tile script now, I'll get you to actually just delete, so Control or Command A, and then just delete everything in there, and we're going to rewrite it which is less code than what we had in here before. Right, so this is the shorthand way that we're going to use for this particular project. Right, so we do need our tile up the top, so script.parent, and we will also add back in our debounce value. All right, so we're setting this to true to control our script. Now we'll, instead of writing a function, we'll simply connect the tile. So tile.touched, so that's our event when it's touched, and then we'll put a colon and connect, and we'll use the anonymous function. So function, and open this up, move over one and hit enter, so it should look like that. All right. Now we'll need our variable, our parameter in here to know which part hit the tile. So we'll add that inside of those brackets. Now for this particular game and project, we don't really need to get access to the character. We do, however, need access to the player. So we can skip getting the character variable by creating a variable for our player. So PLR, short for player, and we will say game.players, and we will get player from character, but instead of having the character to put in there, we'll say hit.parent. Okay, I'll just get rid of that so you can see what's going on there. Alright, and now if whatever hits the part is not a player, so it's not in players, then this will return nil, but we'll put a conditional statement in here that will check that. So we'll create our conditional statement to say if player, so if it is actually a player, and db, then we can immediately set our db to be equal to false, and down the bottom of our script we'll say task.wait, and we'll wait another 2 seconds and set db equal to true. So now that we know that we have our player, we want to get access to the two folders that we created. So we'll create a variable called pstats, and this will be for our leader stats folder, which will be player, and then we will wait for child leader stats. Now it's always good practice when you are getting a folder to use wait for child, because this folder could have hundreds of variables in them, and it could take a little bit of time in computer time to load that into the game. So if you use wait for child, it will stop potential errors from happening. Now just below this we will get our player points, and we are looking inside the player stats folder, and now we can just put a dot and type in points, and that will give us access to the variable that we created. And all we want to do in here to begin with is give our player some points each time they touch the tile. So we can say player points dot value, because that's what we want to change, equals, and we can say player points dot value plus 10. Now that's the longhand way of doing things, and I like to explain that first, so you can comment that out or you can delete it. And if you're used to doing this, then player points dot value, and we'll say plus equals 10. All right, is exactly the same thing. All right. So we'll stick with the shorthand version there, and I will get rid of that. And we'll just straighten our code up so that we get rid of any gaps, and it's nice and tidy. And you'll see this is a much more concise way of writing the same code that we had in our other script. All right. So let's click on File and Save, and I'll just bring up my output window in case we have any errors, but we'll play, and let's test to see that we are giving our player points. Right, so when I touch the tile, over here in our leader stats, this should change. So when I run on, yes, we got 10 points, and then 2 seconds later, I can touch and get more points. All right, and I can continue to do that back and forward. So if you have your tile working where you're accumulating points like I am on the screen, then you are good to go. So let's stop, and we'll close our script, and we'll change our version now. So save as, and come up and change it to 5, and we're good to go to move on to the next video. So I will see you there.